speak with you at once.
Yes, Hermione, what is it?
The owl dropped off our achievement reports this morning. Where are the percentages? Last semester I received a 99% in Transfiguration, and now all I see is a 4. This is almost as horrible as the time the Boggart appeared to me as you, telling me I failed your class.
Hermione, dear, take a breath. In both the magical and muggle worlds, things are always changing. Professor Dumbledore, in collaboration with the Minister for Magic and the Department of Magical Education, have created a new grading system.
But why? What was wrong with the old system? Parvati also got a 4 in Transfiguration, but I really think that my quality of work is superior to her. With both of us receiving a 4, how is the Wizarding Examination Authority going to know that I rank better in comparison?
Well, Hermione, dear, the faculty here at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry support the new grading system of 1 to 4. We feel that a 1 to 4 scale accurately shows what you know and are able to do.
But how does it show the extent of what I can do? I work hard to make my knowledge of Transfiguration in all subjects as extensive as possible.
You received a 4 on your achievement report, meaning that your work in Transfiguration exceeds expectations. A 3 would have meant that your work was meeting the designated learning goals. A 2 would have meant that you were approaching learning goals, and a 1 would have meant that you were working below the learning goals.
Okay, Professor, but once again, how do I stand out from my classmates when I only get a 4?
We are trying to move away from the ranking scale, Hermione, in order to better support learning. I want you to excel in my class because you love Transfiguration and want to learn to turn Mr. Weasley into a pocket watch, for example, simply because you enjoy it. Do you understand?
I do love learning, Professor, very much. But I also want to ensure that I am prepared for my owls.
You're exceeding expectations, Miss Granger. As long as you continue to practice your spells, I am sure you will excel at your owls and your newts.
Thank you, Professor.
If you need more affirmation, Miss Granger, I can show you some of the anecdotal notes I have written for you about your work this semester.
Yes, Professor, I'm sure that would make me feel much better.
Accio Anecdotal Notes. Here, Miss Granger, these are the notes I have for you that I've written beginning this semester.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor.
You are very welcome, Miss Granger.
I feel much better now.
Excellent. Alohomora. I understand you two are here to discuss Draco's report on cross-species switches.
Yes, that's correct. We are less than thrilled with Draco's mark.
He received an 8 out of a possible 12. This does not meet the Malfoy family standard, and I find it hard to believe that Draco could score anything less than an 11.
Mr. and Mrs. Malfoy, I understand that you are concerned, but I assure you Draco's mark is merited. His 8 out of 12 is based on a rubric collaboratively designed by the class and myself.
So you're telling me that Draco helped to create this rubric?
Then I don't know how Draco only scored an 8. I don't understand. I have half a mind to go straight to Professor Dumbledore with this. This would never have happened in Professor Snape's class.
Although Draco did participate in the creation of the rubric, he did not meet all of the criteria. Let's look over the rubric together, shall we? I have it right here. As you can see, that is the rubric.
He scored a 6 out of a possible 6 in this section. Well, isn't it a written report? His writing should be all that matters.
While his writing is strong, he struggled with the content component of this assignment.
What do you mean by struggled?
Although Draco's report is very well written, he did not provide enough evidence of thorough research.
Perhaps this is an isolated incident. I'm sure Draco usually does the proper amount of research.
I do have some anecdotes and notes pertaining to Draco's performance in class during research tasks, if you would like to see them.
Yes, we would like to see that.
I have them right here as well.
So, what are anecdotal notes exactly?
Well, anecdotes and notes are a type of formative assessment I use every day to inform my instruction. They're short notes I make about each student's progress over the course of a lesson. Here is the place where I place notes pertaining to Draco's work and progress.
That seems like an awful lot of writing for every day. Something that, like, a muggle would do. Here.
I see he seems to be excelling in writing and reflecting. Yet, as you mentioned, he seems to struggle in research.
I am sure that with time, Draco will excel in researching as well. I have Mr. and Mrs. Weasley waiting outside, so unfortunately we are out of time today. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to send me a letter by owl.
Severus, I have just been told by a very emotional Mr. Longbottom that you have given him a 0 on his potions assignment. I thought that Dumbledore made it quite clear that as a staff we are now moving away from giving our students 0s.
Mr. Longbottom is the most incapable potions student I have ever taught in my entire career. His work was completely abysmal. His living death potion nearly blew up this entire dungeon.
Have you ever considered the type of effect that giving a student a 0 on an assignment such as this will do to their self-esteem?
No, not by any means, no.
If a student is not producing the proper results on an assignment, it is your job as the professor to provide assistance to that student.
And how do you suggest I assist a student who does not know the difference between a bat's eye and a toad's tongue?
Well, Severus, if you used your anecdotal notes, you would be able to determine the exact problems that Mr. Longbottom was having with his potion ingredients. From those notes, you could provide him with extra assistance or attempt to explain the potion-making process in a different way. Giving him a 0 is not the answer.
If students do not make an effort, Minerva, I will not reward them with a grade they do not deserve.
Mr. Longbottom is clearly attempting to make an effort, Severus. You need to watch him more carefully, or place him at a table with someone like Miss Granger if you are seriously uncomfortable with the thought of helping a student. You must keep an eye on students like him. He has no problem in any of my classes, yet you are discouraging him to think that he will ever succeed in potions. You could base his future decisions based on his inability to perform well in your potions class.
I will not give special treatment to any of my students. If they do not produce a quality potion, I will not give them the grade for it. I do the same with my students who submit late assignments, even if they are at the top of the class.
Severus, do you mean to tell me that you have been deducting points from students who submit late assignments to you?
Yes. I cannot fathom a reason that I would not deduct points from an assignment submitted past the due date.
You are aware of Miss Granger's current situation, I trust. How could you expect her to submit every assignment promptly and perfectly done. It is impossible.
She is in her 3rd year here at Hogwarts. A little time travel is not something to be used as an excuse to submit late assignments. Mr. Longbottom has yet to hand in an assignment on time to me. I cannot give special treatment simply because Miss Granger is tampering with time in order to take more classes. Her own problem, really.
Has it ever occurred to you, Severus, that Mr. Longbottom is so terrified of you that he does not want to come down to your office to face you and hand in an assignment? You must consider that there are many other additional factors that influence a student's ability to get their work done. Not every student is able to work like a Gringotts goblin and produce perfect work at all times.
Professor McGonagall, if I promise to attempt to adhere to the needs of my students' learning, in order for them to produce better quality work, will you please show yourself out of my office?
Certainly, Severus, but please give the students a chance to show what they know, and from there it can guide your instruction.